Behind the General Convention, there is a theological conviction. It was first articulated by William White in 1782. It became the organizing principle of the first General Convention in 1785, and it was the organizing principle of this 76th Convention in 2009. And that principle is this, that God speaks through every level of the church, and we cannot be confident of God's direction until all levels are heard from. God speaks through all levels of the church, and we cannot be confident of God's direction until we've heard from all the levels. Now that may sound very basic to you and obvious, but I can tell you there are not many churches that are organized around that principle. The Episcopal Church gives its ultimate authority not to a ruling prince or to an ecclesiastical nobility, not to its scholars, not to its political victors, but to a gathering of laity, deacons, priests, and bishops, who, to the great consternation and continued confusion of the Anglican Communion, must agree before our decisions become final. That gathering is the General Convention. The General Convention is large. The House of Deputies has well over 800 members. It's the largest legislative body in the world. The General Convention is cumbersome. This is its official report book. We received 419 resolutions and managed to give open hearing, committee discussion, floor debate, and votes in the House of Bishops and the House of Deputies to 330 of them. The language of the convention is legislative language which has the crippling requirement of reducing even the most complex and nuanced situation to a yes or no question, because that's the only way you can vote, yes or no. Yet, that system gives clarity to complexity, and it calls on both winners and losers to keep moving into the future together. General Convention is rich. Deputies and bishops come from 16 different countries. The largest diocese in the Episcopal Church? Haiti. One major controversy that we tried to deal with concerned a disputed bishop election in Ecuador. And that called on the compassion of the many to stretch across barriers of language and culture and respond to the passion of the few. Convention is beautiful. You have to have an eye for it, but the colors and the cultures of the people are wonderful to see. The spiritual energy and the sound of 3,000 people at communion every day and 10,000 on Sunday. The commitment of people who take 10 precious days in the summer to do this work. The honest searching of a large group of people for the trail that Jesus blazed for us. They're beautiful. It is a beautiful thing. But even the beauty has a dark side, and we cannot deny or ignore that. Many have pointed out that this convention was more harmonious than others, that it really was a very generous and good convention. There was substantial agreement in very difficult areas. There were good manners, generous listening, careful speaking, and a playfulness that has not been present before. Now that was really good, it was really wonderful, but it was expensive. We succeeded in harmony because we flunked diversity, and we have to own that. One of the reasons it was so harmonious is that we were not as theologically diverse as we have been in other conventions. Diversity is a high-profile value in this church. When you talk about a congregation, diverse congregation is almost one word now. Everybody says that they're a diverse congregation. It might be that you have 2-door and 4-door Volvos in the lot, but you say, we're a diverse congregation. But the fact is that we failed as a community to maintain theological diversity. For reasons that are well known and thankfully well beyond the scope of this conversation, many of the people who have been anxious about the journey and the direction of this church, and many of the people who intentionally or unintentionally generated anxiety in others, just weren't there. Some of them left noisily, trying to take the towels and the silverware with them. Others simply left. The effect of those facts are mostly painful, but one positive effect was a very pleasant and harmonious convention. It was an expensive good. What I want to do now is turn to some of the decisions that most directly affect people like you and me, people in congregations.